Hey everybody, today we're going to start a review for the test that we're going to have on Thursday. So there are some tools that you can use on your test. There's the fraction tool we've been using. There's also a number line. You'll also need a pencil and paper. And if you can't remember how to screenshot, here's the video. If you feel like you're ready to try the practice test on your own, you do not have to finish the video, you can go ahead and start. If you'd like to do it together, keep watching and we can work through it together. So this first problem is called Enrique's dogs. Enrique has 3 dogs, Speedy, Jumpy, and Lumpy. Problem number 1. Enrique feeds them dog food. Each day, Speedy eats 1/4 of the box, Jumpy eats 3/8 of the box, and Lumpy eats 1/2 of the box. What fraction of a whole box do the dogs eat in all each day? Show how you know with equations and a visual model. So I know that because this is asking me how much they eat in all, and they're each eating a part of the box, I have to add. So my equation would be 1/4 plus 3/8 plus 1/2. And now I have to figure it out. So I can either get my pencil and paper, or I can come up here and use my fraction tool. I know that my answer is going to have to be in eighths because this is the greatest denominator. So first, I'm going to say that 1/4 equals 2/8. Okay, so now I have 2/8. Now I need to figure out what to do about my 1/2. So I'm going to see that 1/2 equals 3/4. So all together, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9/8. So I can say my answer is 9/8. Or I could also write my answer as 1 whole and 1/8 of a box. So I could say they eat 1 whole box and 1/8 of a box. And I'm going to take a photo of my work to show how I did that, and I'll put it right here. Now, if you wanted to, something else you could do to show your work even better is you could rewrite this equation using eighths. So instead of 1/4, we saw that 1/4 was 2/8. So I'll say that's 2/8. And then 3/8 stayed the same. And then 1/2 was 4/8. So 4/8 was 1/2. So you can see I have my equations, I have my visual, and I have my answer in a full sentence. Let's try number 2. Number 2, Speedy and Lumpy spend much of the day sleeping. Speedy sleeps for 3/4 of the day, and Lumpy sleeps for 5/8 of the day. A, which of the 2 dogs sleeps for longer? So I have to compare here. Speedy sleeps for 3/4 and Lumpy sleeps for 5/8. So I need 3/4 here, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 here. So let me take a photo. So I'll put my photo in here. And it's really important that you label your work. So my 5/8, I know that's Lumpy, and my 1/4, I know that's Speedy. And now I can come over here and I can write my answer. And remember, every time you want to write, use the T. So I'm going to say Speedy sleeps for longer. And now the question is how much longer? So there's a couple ways I could solve this, and I'll show you several different ones. The first way is I could subtract. So I could say, okay, I want to know how much longer. I'm going to do 3/4 minus 5/8 and find my answer. The other way is I could use my picture and I could say, okay, how much more would I need for those numbers to be the same? What's the difference between those numbers? So I could use my picture and I could say, Speedy, oops, not Speedy, Speedy sleeps 1/8 of a day longer. I could also use a pencil and paper to draw it, or I could use my number line. So let's do fractions, and we need to get to eighths. Okie dokie. And we'll start at 0. Okay. And when I have all my settings right, I say done. So I know that this 5/8 right here I'm going to say that this is how much Speedy sleeps. Then I have to think about, okay, I know that the other dog sleeps 3/4. How many eighths is that? And I know that that's 6/8. So I could make another one on here, and I could call this one, it's going to go to 6/8. Ooh, I mixed them up, huh? That's lumpy. I can see that Speedy sleeps 1/8 longer than Lumpy. And I could also label this 3/4 to be really clear. So I could take a photo of that. I could put that on my page. Where am I? Page 2? So your 3 options are a number line, a visual, either on paper or online, or an equation. And so 2 representations means you need to do 2 of these 3 options. The next one's about decimals. So it says, Enrique's dogs often share a gallon of water. Speedy always drinks 0, 2/10, and 2/100 of the carton. Lumpy always drinks 0 and 4/10 of the carton. And Jumpy always drinks 3/10 and 5/100 of the carton. So my question here is, what part of the whole gallon of water is left over? And I'm going to underline that because I think that's important. What part of the whole gallon of water is left over after all 3? I wrote cats again. I really want these dogs to be cats. After all 3 dogs drink their portions. Show how you solve the problem using equations and a visual model. Okay, so Speedy is 2/10. And 2/100. Lumpy is 4/10. So I got to get 4 of these bars. And then Jumpy drinks 3/10 and 5/100. 1, 2, and 3/10. And 1 5/100. Now I know that the question is how much of the whole entire gallon is left over. And I see there are 3/100 left over. So my equation would be 1 whole minus 2/10 and 2/100 minus 4/10 minus 3/10 and 5/100 equals 3/100. And remember that 3 is in the hundredths place because it's not tenths, it's hundredths. And so now that I have my answer, I'm going to write a full sentence. I'm going to say, there is 3/100 of a gallon left. And number 4, Enrique's dogs weigh a total of 15 kilograms. Speedy weighs 3.5 kilograms. Lumpy weighs 5 1/3 kilograms. How much does Jumpy weigh? And so for A, it says estimate. So estimate means make a good guess. Not a random guess, but a guess that makes sense with math. So if these dogs weigh 15 kilograms altogether, and Speedy weighs 3.5 and Lumpy weighs 5 1/3, they have to weigh, I'm just going to look at the whole numbers, they have to weigh at least 8. So I think the other dog couldn't weigh more than 7, because 7 plus 8 is 15. So I think Jumpy weighs about 8 because Jumpy weighs about 7 because Speedy and Lumpy weigh about 8 kilograms. And then I have to find Jumpy's exact weight. So I'm going to think about what I need to add together here. So I know that I'm going to do some numbers that add up to 15. So it's going to be 3.5 plus 5 1/3 plus something equals 15. So I'm going to leave how to do this one to you. Probably you will use a pencil and paper because on this tool, you can't get that many holes on there. Just make sure you show your work. And the complete sentence you'll answer in will be Jumpy weighs kilograms. So don't forget to ask a question if you have one. And let's get started.